Hey, what's going on? I want to welcome you to the final solutions video that's really going to help you to get out of this quarter life crisis you're in. I know it's a freaking tough time for you, man. That's why I'm so passionate about doing these videos. So in this video, we're going to be talking about two more mindset shifts that usually trigger a quarter life crisis and like what to do about it. So there's actually two scenarios here. The first scenario is actually come from a good friend of mine. He actually went through a bit of a quarter life crisis, I think around the age of like 24. And he was really excited to hear that I was actually going to be doing a video on this. He gave me some ideas to be able to share with you. And the second scenario, the second mindset shifts and the chaos, it was actually come from me, okay? I went through a quarter life crisis somewhere between the ages of like 27 and 28. It was a really, really hard time for me. I nearly committed suicide, as I'll probably do on a video at some point. And I want to be able to give you some of the tools that really helped me and some of the mindsets that I was going through so that you can actually live the best life possible. Now, if you like this sort of content, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It helps out the channel a great deal. And also consider following me on Instagram. Don't consider, actually do it, okay? Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be dropping a lot of weekly content on there, on purpose, on mindset, and also just sort of I want to give you as many free tools as possible so that you can win at life, okay? And just sort of get out of a lot of the suffering that you're going through. Anyway, with that being said, let's get cracking in the video. So my friend, he went through a bit of a hard time and he had a realization that the world doesn't really care too much about him at that point in his life until he actually started to offer real value or perceived value to the world and actually legitimately help others achieve their goals, okay? So just sort of a bit of an expansion on that is the world won't actually reward you both spiritually and monetarily until you actually deliver it perceived value, okay? Not what you think is valuable, but what the world or what your target market perceives to be valuable, okay? There isn't that reciprocation, okay? If you're lacing shoes, that is low perceived value. I guess winding back to what he was going through is he had that realization and then he started to feel very crushed because he realized that up until this point, he hadn't really been delivering that value to the world. And that responsibility that now he had to step up was a little bit overwhelming for him. And he didn't really know how to go about it. So he went through a few short months of depression in order to be able to get out of that situation. So in order to fast track this, if you're having some similar sort of thoughts, what can you do about it? So the first thing that helped him and helped me as well, and will definitely help you, is to go and grieve, okay? Go and grieve and get to the point of acceptance, okay? Do what you need to do to be like, oh man, I've been climbing the wrong tree. I haven't really been delivering a lot of value to the world, okay? The projects that I've been working on or the things that I've been doing have been low perceived value. That's why I haven't been getting paid a lot of money. Also hasn't been very rewarding because I'm not really pushing myself to the best of my ability. And having that sort of like moment of like, okay, this is how it's been up until now. I've had the wool pulled over my eyes for whatever reason. Now it's on me to actually step up and to go to the next level. Okay, so you get to the level of acceptance, and then you eventually get to the level of courage. Okay, so the next point is to work out what your unique gifts are. Okay, you need to ask yourself deep questions. Around this time, you might actually consider getting some sort of coaching or mentoring, okay? Potentially from me or someone else. But if you want to fast track this, find somebody who has already gone through the situation that you've gone through and just ask them for help, okay? Because trust me, if you don't and you just bounce around the internet, it's just going to take you a lot longer to work this shit out, okay? But yeah, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Anyway, the simple tools here is to find out what your unique gifts are, note those down, work out what you like, what you don't like, and apply some of those principles of Ikigai, okay? Some of the principles of Ikigai are like what you're good at, what do you love doing, what the world needs, there's that contribution element, and especially what you can be paid for, okay? There's that reciprocation element. So like another thing is like a question I got from Derek Moneyberg is that I actually told my friend around this time and also definitely helped me is who are the people that you think are suffering unnecessarily and how do you think you'd be able to help them, okay? So if you can put that into your mind, you're like, everybody's suffering, okay? People that don't have a home, they need a house to be built, okay? They're suffering, okay? And if you've got the skills to build their house, they're going to pay you a lot of money and you're going to feel very emotionally rewarded if you're really good with your hands, okay? So that's that part of like what you're good at. And also, once you've gone through and you've asked some of these questions, ask yourself the question like, how would I be rewarded? What would it be the things that I would feel spiritually, emotionally, my general happiness? How would I collect those happiness points? How would I be rewarded? How much money would I make? And would that amount of money be able to support the lifestyle that I desire? So ask yourself some of these questions. And if you actually do, something's going to come up, okay? Something that's going to really ignite that spark, that fire in your gut. And you'll be like, yep, this is where I want to go. And you'll be able to help move some of the anxiety and like apathy of being in a quarter life crisis, and you'll start to move your life forward. So when you start to move your life forward, then you're going to find some more happiness. All right, so now we're actually on to the scenario that got me, what actually triggered my quarter life crisis. Man, this is a really, really painful time in my life. I wish I'd gone through it so much quicker. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping you with this, because I don't want you to go through the same anxiety and pain that I went through. But what actually triggered my quarter life crisis was the realization that self-development actually exists and it's actually possible for me to change, okay? I didn't know I was under the matrix spell that a lot of people are under, that you have to live life with like a light level anxiety and apathy your entire life. And when I was exposed through RSD, the possibility that I could go around, I could pick up girls, I could improve my ability to talk, I could increase my verbal fluency, I could improve my confidence, I could actually go after work that is more meaningful to me. This was exciting at first, but it also created even more anxiety and stress on me and actually set me down a negative rabbit hole to the point where I nearly committed suicide, because I didn't realize that there was so much responsibility now on me, okay, to actually evolve and to change. Also, it was quite difficult because as I started to get like closer to my late 20s, I expected things to go a lot better than they did. And the goalposts actually moved further away from me. Originally, like I remember when I was like 23 outfield and I was thinking about where I'd be in 10 years. Back then, all I wanted was like, a shed and a fast sports car and maybe a girlfriend. And now like my goals are so much further along than that. And back then I realized that my goals had to be further away from that. It created a lot of like stress and anxiety on me, and it really screwed me up. Okay. So how did I actually get out of this? How did I actually get out of that really hard time? Well, it didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of work. It was incredibly painful. And if I was to wind the clock back, I wish I'd actually got a fucking mentor to help me, because then I wouldn't have experienced so much pain. But back then my ego was too high and I didn't really recognize the full extent of the problem. But what it took was deep identity level change, okay? And it's going to be the same thing for you. You need to work out who the fuck you are, okay? What are the things that you're willing to accept and like about your personality and your identity? And what are the things that you need to learn, okay? Some of those things you may not even be able to see, and you need somebody else to be able to point those things out, okay? What are the habits that you need to change? What are the things that you need to improve in your life so that you no longer have to have this light level anxiety hum that's going through your life all the time? Well, one of the things that really helped me out around this time that's actually in my program is death meditation, okay? This might sound really like, I think the word's morbid, but it can be one of the most eye-opening and life-changing experiences that you can go through. And you only really need to go through it once or twice to really like cement who you are in your mind, okay? So around this time, you might imagine your own death, okay? Hopefully you're not suicidal, but like at least becoming more aware that of your mortality, okay? Memento mori, you're going to die someday. So, sitting in a cemetery, going through some sort of guided meditation to really help you recognize what it is that you value in your life, okay? What are the things that you will and won't tolerate? What are the things that you like and dislike? What are the things that you want to or you must achieve before you die for this life to be worthwhile to you? Okay. So when you actually like hone in on your death, you start to realize what is important, what is not important, and it helps focus your mind. Okay. It starts to give you a little bit more anxiety, yes, but also at the same time, it gives you a real freaking kick in the ass so that you can actually put yourself in a position to go after the things that are important to you, okay? This quarter life crisis, as they say, maybe you should reword it in your mind as a quarter life opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to grow. This is an opportunity for you to cut out all the bullshit in your life and find the things that are most important to you and go after them, okay? It really comes down to you. This could be the part of your life where you go down the freaking rabbit hole and come out the other side a completely changed man, or you could go down the rabbit hole and become a victim and never see the beauty and the fun of life ever again, okay? You see people walking around, millions of people, they've got that darkness in their eyes. It really hurts me to see where they haven't actually stepped up and they're going to live that for the rest of their life. Do you want that to be you? Because that's the default. The default is failure, okay? I want you to realize that going through a quarter life crisis is actually normal, okay? This could actually be the best thing for your long-term psychological health. Right now, I know it's really painful. I know it's really hard. Your mind's all over the place. You're freaking out. Where should I be at this point in my life? And it's really hard. But, in the future, when you do get through this, hopefully you go and seek some help. It could be from me. It could be from somebody else. But you're not going to learn this properly in a short time frame with the least amount of pain through books and YouTube. I'm telling you right now, because information is not enough. Like it might take you many years to realize that you actually dodged a bullet and to sort of look at it in retrospect the same way I have, the same way my good friend has. But it's up to you to see this as an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to consider the things that you want to change and evolve, the things that you will and won't tolerate, and really to like hammer it home so that you can become the best person. I say all this and I'm super passionate about this because I'm trying to help you avoid what's called the midlife crisis. I don't want you to get to the age of 40 and realize that a lot of the things that you've been doing in your life, it's in the past now. You can't actually change. And also you get to 40 and it becomes much harder to change because you've developed all these mindsets and habits and views of the world that are wrong, okay? And because you're older, it's now ingrained into your psyche, and it's much harder for you to have somebody come and tell you that you've been doing it wrong this time. And it's much harder for your ego to recognize that like, oh, I've been doing it wrong. And the ego has grown over 20 years so big that it's going to be very hard for you to break the wrong habits. So ideally, it's a good opportunity for you to go through this now in your 20s and then have this real shake-up, because now you have the shake-up to be able to move your life in the direction that you want it to, and you can completely avoid this midlife crisis. I give out all this information for free because I know that information is not enough, okay? I know that at some point you're going to need a mentor, hopefully me, but it doesn't necessarily have to be me. You're going to hopefully have the realization that you need somebody to metaphorically hold your hand, okay, to help you go through this spiritual awakening and to be able to put you on a path that has your best interests, have somebody fighting in your corner. In retrospect, I've been through all this in a very, very painful manner. It's taken me years to have these realizations. And I'm not saying it's impossible for you to learn through the internet and to learn through books and to be able to like see some of your own perspectives, but it can be done, but it's going to be incredibly painful for you, my friend, okay? It's going to be really, really hard, and it's going to take a lot longer than it needs to be. If you're in your 20s or maybe your early 30s, okay, and you're picking up what I'm putting down and you're ready to dive deeper into this and to actually confront the uncertainty, you're ready to go through a short, quite painful experience so that you don't have to experience a lot of long-term pain over the course of years, like a small amount of long-term over the course of years, then I encourage you to follow me on Instagram, okay? And if you're ready, reach out to me. If you're not, that's completely fine. But follow me on Instagram. You can start to go through some of my old content. You can start to see some of these little snippets, these little nuggets that might actually make you go, okay, I never thought of it that way. And you can start to evolve your mind so that you can live the best life possible. If you think that you and I are actually a good fit and you want to get this thing handled as quickly as possible, then reach out to me on Instagram, send me a message, and you and I can actually get on a one-on-one discovery call. And if we are a good fit, I'll send you through my program, and bro, you're going to come out of the other side completely changed. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be easy. It's actually going to be quite boring, but you're going to go on an inward journey and be able to answer a lot of these questions you didn't really know that you need answered, and then have real clarity and direction on where your life's going. And that's what I wish for you. That's what I'm super pumped about. If you like this sort of content, hit that like button, subscribe. We've got many more videos coming out on this topic. But if you actually watch this video through to its entirety, I know you're going to be on a good path, okay? I wish I had this information available to me, laid out in the way that it is, that I'm laying it out to you, because my success would be way further than where I'm at now. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for another